sing. Are you ready?
3, 2, 1. Are you ready? This is the Morning Kickoff Footy Podcast. Your hosts are Oily Maguire, Sordid Sorin. Hang on. Has anyone seen the shovel to dig up Gaza? We need air fresheners too. He proper humdings. Sorry, yes, Gaza will be here, and the living legend that is truly wonderful, famous, best-selling author, actor, and podcast host, Dino. Have a good episode, lads. I'll see you at the outro. Is that Gary I can smell?
Gentlemen, football fans, and all you podcast listeners from around the world, welcome back. This is the moment you've all been waiting for, the main event of the evening, the MKO Show episode 12. Introducing first, the impeccable, the indestructible, the famous footballing pride of Grimsby Town, Dino the Tearaway. And in the opposite corner, weighing in at 0 pounds, EFL guru, dug up straight from the grave, the tombstone Gaza. In every corner, because he's so massive, the donkey shagger, the Bulgarian, the Mexican and Romanian Sordid Sorin. And last but in no means least, the undisputed, undefeated, most dull, most boring, most annoying refereeing champion of the world, the MKO Show Mike Dean, Oily Maguire.
Here's what's coming up next in the show.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I had an eventful Sunday afternoon. What was that?
That was a yawn, I think.
Gary's back at it again. Unbelievable.
Gaza. The episode has just started and he's yawning.
How I just went from the cow's tit hitting the door just like that.
No,
in an
it's
instant, it's like I teleported. It's like I invented teleportation.
Hi, I'm Gaza, and welcome to episode 12 of the Morning Kickoff. I'm joined by Dino, Ollie, and Sorin.
Hello.
Salud.
Hello.
How are we doing, boys? Ollie, are we in?
Yeah, I'm good. I'll tell you guys about my weekend because it's quite eventful. So I
Did anyone ask Ollie about his weekend?
No, he didn't.
No.
I don't know what's
Is
going on.
Ollie just thinking this show is all about him after the success of episode 11?
He was fucking talking about having airtime and
Yeah,
everything.
I
He's
think-
already.
Yeah,
think
and then he
fucking
crashes straight into that. Shall I tell you about my weekend? Ollie, how was your weekend?
Well, I was about to tell you about my weekend. I had the referee match on Sunday, and it was the first time that I've had like a melee of players. Like, so sometimes you get like two players going at each other, and you have to kind of stand back, see what they do. Sometimes they square up to each other. Sometimes they push and pull, and then you have to start getting cards out. But this time, this was like under 16s, and they all just went in, the whole team. I was trying to think, what do I do? I'm going to stand back, watch to see who's punching who. Do you get in? Would you get involved, or would you stand back and watch?
Let's just go back to the last episode. And you would not tell a player the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So why would anyone get involved? You're a shitty referee for a start.
Oh, wow.
Right? You're not telling no one the time, so you're probably winding up the sides anyway.
It was late on in the game, so
Yeah.
I think I've already been asked a few times.
Oh, yeah.
Tempers are frayed at the best.
Yeah.
So did you start the melee?
No, I didn't actually see. They said someone was going to kick. Someone threw a kick in or something like that. Anyway, what I did was I stood back. I watched. I gave out 3 yellow cards to certain players. So apparently some of them weren't even the ones involved. To be honest with you, I'd guessed quite a lot of it because I couldn't really see what was going on. And yeah, I had to tell a parent to go off. They came on the pitch to tell them to go away. So yeah, really fun, good game. I enjoy those moments.
He enjoyed watching other people fight, but he wouldn't join into it.
Well, they're the fun bits. People having a fight on the pitch and you hand out yellow cards, that's fun. When they start asking you for the time and how long's left, that's boring stuff.
But you gave out yellow cards to people that may not have even been involved.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Parents.
The parent, yeah, I had to put that in my report. The parent came on the pitch. The club will get in trouble for that.
Oh. So by players, you mean girls, and by 16-year-olds, you probably mean 5 or 4, right?
No.
And
6.
by throwing punches and whatnot, they were probably just slapping each other. You know, they just put their hands forward and they were just hitting the fucking air or something. And Ollie was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing."
Well, whatever you might imagine it to be. That was my weekend. What did you go up to?
We went for a drive with Sorin.
Yeah, it was very entertaining.
It's like a drive like you've never had before.
Yeah, I fucked my car up really well in the morning.
Do you want to tell the listeners why? And
Do you want to
tell them what car you've got first?
Yeah, so let me just start by saying, most importantly, it was Roxandra's fault. And she's very lucky to not have been physically assaulted, domestically abused.
Yeah. And that is quite legal.
Lucky.
That is quite legal in Albania.
Of course it is. So it is. So is it in Mexico. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I've got a 3% Bolivian in me as well.
Yeah.
So
it is coke. You've been taking coke.
Yeah, I've got a 2373, but anyways, 2023 Mercedes C-Class. I'm not rich, by the way. It's Dino's. I'm just showing off. So I've got that car, and in the morning, I was supposed to go and carry some flowers. One of them being fucking tall, almost 1.5 meters tall. And I've told Roxandra the night prior, you need to come and help me hold these flowers, because otherwise they're going to go all over the place. He said, no, you can carry them by yourself. You don't need my help. And I said, fine. Next morning, I put the flowers, including the tall one, in front of the passenger seat. And first time I swerve left to go into...
Swerve left. Not turn left, swerve left.
Turned left
and
to go
also,
into a smaller road.
Did you say you put the flowers on the seat?
No, in front of the seat.
On the
sort of like
the
the
footwell.
feet. Yeah, on the foot.
The feet well.
Whatever that is.
The feet well.
Feet well?
That's where your feet go, isn't it?
In a well.
Not a well like you have on your fucking farm.
Anyways, as soon as I turn left to go into a smaller road, boom, the tall plant falls onto me. I was only holding the steering wheel like a
Knock
dickhead.
the fucking mic off.
I need to show people. They
not
don't know
watching.
what's watching.
You don't need to show anyone.
I
Just
have.
tell the
It's a
listeners.
Bolivian thing.
Right.
Anyways, the big tall plant falls onto me, and I was only holding the steering wheel with my left hand like a dickhead. Partly deserved by Roxandra's fault. I grab onto the fucking flower to push it back. Car swerves right, hits a curb. My fucking tire is fucked, and my alloy is really fucked.
It is proper fucked.
It is.
The car's only 2 months old.
I'll quickly show.
You don't need to
Ollie.
show us. We don't need to.
No,
don't need
fair
to.
enough.
Let's just get the show.
Quickly fucked. Very, very fucked. And then I come here and I show Dino, and he starts taking the piss out of me.
I'm not guilty.
Yeah.
Don't bring me into it.
And he was telling me, so you're gonna beat Roxandra up or not? You're gonna teach her a lesson? I was telling him how lucky she is because she was taking me football. So I was gonna forget all about my worries and not beat the shit out of her.
No, I think she's just lucky being in England where you're not allowed to domestically abuse your partner.
I think as long as they don't complain and go to the police, it is allowed. It's a little what do you call that?
It's not legal. It's not big and it's not clever. We don't condone it on this show.
And
well, I haven't beaten her, so.
And also, when we got to Sutton, what else happened to your car?
Oh, what hasn't happened to my car? First of all, this little old man on a fucking trolley or something. Whatever that was. What was it?
He was pushing a trolley.
Yeah, he was pushing a trolley.
Zimmer frame. What are you on about? On the way there or on the way back?
Was it on the way there or on
No,
the way
on the way back. We'll talk about that later. We went to see Grimsby Town and Sutton, which we'll discuss when we do the Div 2 thing. But yeah, me, Gaza and Sorin went to Sutton and it was eventful. Gaza, anything other than going to Sutton did you get up to at the weekend? It's Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Did you go see Mum and Dad?
Yeah, went to see Mum and Dad, had a coffee, took some flowers and a card as you do, and then came back, watched the Spurs game, which I'll touch on later. And then we went with my partner Sharon to see her mother, And then we went to her daughter's and had a roast dinner.
Nice.
Very good, very nice. Right, lads, let's do the shout-outs. I shall go first, as I have no doubt got the most, because I am famous, talented actor, author, best-selling author. Anyway.
And tosser.
And tosser. Best tosser. I'm not just any old tosser, I'm the best tosser. Right, first shout-out is going to go to Matty McCourt, who I have got on the Tearaway podcast this week. We are doing a podcast from Italy at my house. The second shout out goes to Mark Fisher, Fish in Hastings, Brandon Reynolds, Andy Rouse, Grimsby, London, Mark Rhodes, Rogie in Thailand. Messaged me at the Sutton game to say, why are you always on your phone? Apparently he was sat around the pool watching the Grimsby game and I was just sat there in the stands on my phone. I wasn't, I was recording the sound. But thank you very much, Rogie. Daryl Kirby and Lucy. Lucy plays for Watford Ladies, the junior team. She's currently on loan, but I don't know who with. And her dad supports QPR, fan of the show. And next one is for Barry Ryan, who is just my troll. He's a executive producer in the land of TV and film, whom is one of my associated friends, although you wouldn't think so the way he trolls me. And that's my shout outs. Who's going next?
Shout out to Sam Williams, Dean's son. Great chap. We had a lot of fun on Saturday. Shout out to my mum. She always likes the links and posts and whatever else I'm posting about the podcast, although she doesn't understand anything at all. Maybe she understands hello, but that's about it. Shout out to a few beautiful ladies in our lives, including my partner Roxandra, Dino's missus, and also the beautiful, sexy Doris Daly. I've heard he's doing another podcast with her and I can't wait to hear more from her.
I just forgot to mention, I got such a telling off, should I say. A shout out to my missus, Desire.
Too late.
Never ever shout her out.
Too late.
Never ever shout her out. So shout out to my missus, Desire.
Hello, Daisy.
Happy Mother's Day. Hope you had a great day, great weekend.
And thanks for the coffee.
I shouted you out first. Hello.
Shout outs from me. First one is Justin Hawkins, who's the manager of the Chai Colts under 12s team and Spurs fan. Second one is to Andy Bicknell, big Hazemere boy, now lives Liphook, Borden Way. Big shout out to Bickers. James, Lewis and Ollie Graham, massive Spurs fans, up at the Villa at the weekend. So big shout out to them and their dad Gary. And my last one is to all the worms I met in the ground in the last 12 weeks.
Shout out to them. Olivier,
I'm going to do my regular shout out.
super fan of the show.
He's not the super fan this week. There might be another super fan. We'll leave that up to Dino to tell you about that. But I'm going to give a big shout out to Chris Carter. He is, it was his birthday the other day. Yeah, 2 days ago he had his birthday. And he also told me he's got a little boy on the way as well. So big shout out to him. I'm just going to keep telling you all the events that happen in Chris's life every week. So
happy birthday, Chris, and congratulations.
Birthday. Well done. Congratulations. I'm sure by the time we'll see each other in person, we'll be like best friends because Ollie's going to tell us all about you.
You'll know everything about him. That's for
sure.
There
we are.
You may be a godparent, Soren.
Ooh, grandpa. What is it? I don't know. Is it grandpa?
Grandpa? What are you going to be? You're not his dad.
Godparent Soren. I think I'm the least favourite candidate I've ever been a godparent.
Well, maybe we should make that our mission. Try and make you Chris's kid's godparent.
Let me ask you this. Is it the same as in Romania? Do you have to give them money and stuff like that to your
No, it's just if he dies and his missus dies, you would technically look after their kid for them.
There we are. I'll be your godparent, Chris. Go on. Make this happen. Start a fucking crowdfunding page.
Okay.
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe for Soren being a godparent.
Yes.
And don't forget, when he reaches 16, you've got to buy him a donkey.
Tradition lives on. What else can I say?
Teach him the ways of
the Bolivians.
Yeah.
I'll buy him a burro.
You're listening to Gaza, Soren, Oily Maguire and Dino on the Morning Kickoff Footy Podcast. How they keep getting into the Apple UK podcast charts is beyond me. What does offside even mean?
Okay, something I just want to touch on quickly before we move on is I just got an email. We went in at number 4 in Norway. In England, we are in the charts at number 126. Now, we've just been recategorized to news, sport football on the Apple charts, which is where we get charted more often than not. So yeah, to go in at number 126 is great. To go in at number 4 is even better in Norway. And I just want to say thank you to everyone around the world who's downloading the Tearaway podcast and Morning Kickoff. Thank you very much, because we're getting traction finally after 11 episodes.
Thank you.
Should we give the final shout out to, you had a super fan, didn't you, this week, Dino?
So our super fan of the week is Stevie Hoare. Stevie Hoare is one of the guys who plays 8-a-side football with Ollie, Gaza and Sorin. He is involved with United Minds of Hampshire. He has also undertaken base camp, which everyone was getting up at 6 a.m. in the morning and doing loads of keep fit for mental health awareness. Now, Gaza is also part of Friends Fighting Cancer, where he plays football in little tournaments, and he just does so much for people with mental health difficulties and just in general. And he's a good friend of the show, always liking everything, always listening, and this is why we have decided he's our super fan of the week.
Well deserved.
Hello, Steve.
Hold it there, Dino. Quick fucking jingle, and then it's on to Soccer League 2. Results, fixtures, and touchdowns. No?
Do you have a fleet of diesel vehicles in the south of England? Do you always have downtime with vehicles lost in workshops? Call Williams Diesels, your one-stop shop for on-site repairs. Williams Diesels, voted London's best fleet mobile repairer for London 2024. Services, repairs, MOTs, safety inspections, brakes and clutches, all done on site. We are mobile to keep you mobile. Do you replace windscreens due to chips or cracks? We repair chips and cracks for our customers, reducing the need for a replacement and saving you money. Call now to find out how we can save you time and, more importantly, money. Call 0753 7171 606 or visit us at williamsdiesels.com. Williams Diesels. We are mobile to keep you mobile.
Are you ready for your host? Here he is.
Supporting Grimsby Town FC, Northern and Proud. Prosecco drinking, pizza making and flying in from Italy. Here is Dino.
This is probably the best station in the world.
That's right.
Right, next is Div 2. Gaza, can we go to the Div 2 results, please?
Yep, League 2 results. Accrington Stanley 0, Bradford 3, Barrow 2, Colchester 0, Doncaster 2, Crewe 0, Forest Green 2, Walsall 0, Gillingham 1, Tranmere 1, Harrogate 1, Crawley 2, Mansfield 3, Swindon 2, MK Dons 3, Salford 1, Morecambe 1, Wrexham 3, Notts County 0, Wimbledon 2, let me down at the weekend, Stockport 1, Newport 0, Sutton 1, Grimsby 1.
And let's go over to Division 2 fixtures. Oily Maguire.
AFC Wimbledon versus Newport, Accrington Stanley versus Notts County, Barrow versus Harrogate Town, Bradford City versus Mansfield Town, Colchester United versus Walsall, Forest Green Rovers versus Sutton United, Gillingham versus Grimsby Town, Milton Keynes Dons versus Crewe Alexandra, Swindon Town versus Doncaster Rovers, and Wrexham versus Tranmere Rovers.
Very good, very good. And Sorin, top 5 and bottom 5, please.
Of course you can, sir. On first place, we've got Mansfield with 69 points. Second place, we've got Stockport with 66 points, but one game in hand. Third place, we've got Wrexham with 66 points. Fourth place, MK Dons with 64 points. And fifth place, Crewe with 61 points. And then bottom 5, we've got Salford City with 40 points. Grimsby with 35 points and 2 games in hand. Colchester with 32 points. Forest Green, 30 points. And then Sutton United, 27 points.
Very good, very good. Now, we went to Sutton at the weekend and we had hospitality at Sutton. Don't think I'm the right person to talk about it, so I'll leave this one to Gaza.
Well, what can I say? Well, we turned up, couldn't park in their car park, so we had to then go and park on a pavement outside, much to the delight of Sorin and his car. And when we got inside, found our table, sat down next to the door, which was kept open.
In the porter cabin.
Very drafty. Waited around, no free drink. So we had water. So we had a glass of water.
No tea.
No tea or coffee, just water. They then brought the plates round, which was a pie with veg and some potatoes and a gravy.
Gravity.
I think you took most of it actually. So we had to get a second boat, gravy boat. So yeah, we had that, and then that was followed by a roulade, which
was shit.
Which was shit. Yeah, wasn't that good. Didn't realise there was cream on the table for it. We didn't realise that until Dino put it in his tea.
Yeah,
which came
cream
around
tea
afterwards. So
and I don't mean cream tea, it was cream scones. It was cream tea.
Yeah, and that was it. After that, the chap on the microphone, they interviewed 2 of the players that were injured, and then we had a Ukraine lady talking about Ukraine.
Yeah, and the atrocities of Ukraine. And not only that, the 2 players that were being interviewed, microphones were fucked.
Yeah.
So what would you get at a decent League 2 hospitality? You must have been to one of those. What's the difference?
I reckon Dino knows more about that than
Stockport.
What were you expecting to have?
To go into a place where you would sit down and you would have all the sport going on. So whatever was on with Sky at that time. I think we had a Premier League team playing, Man United maybe.
Yeah, but they showed a championship game.
Yeah.
Cardiff were on, weren't they?
So they were showing that for a start. It was fair enough. The room looked like it was something out of a porter cabin, and we were seated within 10 feet of the door. A table of 10, which is standard. No tea or coffee beforehand. It was just a bottle of water. When we was at Stockport a few weeks ago, loads of tables, tea and coffee as soon as you start. Bottle of Prosecco on the table waiting. Match programme ready before you even start so you can see what's going on. Then they bring in the manager. Then they bring in a couple of players. So this starts at 12. So by 2 o'clock, you've got the manager in there talking about his team selection, and they're asking him questions about, they were obviously flying at the top of the league then, and you start to have your meal. Not only did we have our meal, like our first course, like our entree, we was having competitions, like where the whole room had to put their hands on the head and say, hands up if you think this question is true, and if this is false, hands on your hips if you think it's false. And till the last person was in the room and someone would win something. Did that 2 or 3 times, gave away 3 bottles of champagne, which was great. Then you had the raffle, and then you had the main meal. Then at half time, he came in and had key lime pie. Then at full time, you come in, the manager comes in with his players and with the player of the match award. And then the community people would be given awards and would get their photos taken with the players in there. So it lasted from 12 till 6. And I think we paid 65 quid each. I paid 45 quid for the lads per ticket, and I had to buy their match ticket, which was included. So it was like 25 quid for the hospitality, which was a pie with 2 veg and a potato, and then a raspberry roulade, which is $4.95 from Asda's.
For a whole one.
Well, it looked like they dropped it on the floor before they gave it to you, actually.
It was horrific.
And there was no refreshments at half time. Nothing at the end.
We were told not to come back.
Yeah.
I was we went down to get a cup of tea, whatever, at half time in the bar, and I thought, cappuccino on there, I'd get them. All she did was put a little scoop of coffee in the cup and poured a kettle on top of water.
Yeah. They even we had tea, and they left the tea bag in there. They just chucked it to us. There you are. And let's not forget about the seats. Like the seats in front of us,
they had wooden armrests.
And if you sit down, imagine economy class plane. Literally, the seats in front of us were pushing into our knees.
I know I'm small, and even my knees were hitting the chair in front.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah, we all had to sit there wide-legged, but it's just impossible. The ground was just awful. The pitch was awful.
Yeah.
The way that the team set out and played was just awful. It was just an awful day, an awful experience, and just horrible.
And their events director or something had a go at you as well.
Not standard wherever I go. I wasn't even drinking. So I've got some key stats from the weekend's fixtures in Sky Bet League 2, and it goes a little bit like this. Tyrick Wright netted his first ever EFL brace, and aged 22 years and 169 days, become the youngest player to score twice in a league game for Bradford City since Narkey Wells versus Aldershot Town in November 2012. 22 years and 162 days. In their 1-1 draw with Grimsby Town, Sutton United failed to keep a clean sheet for the 14th consecutive league match, the longest ongoing such run in the EFL. Forest Green Rovers have won 3 of their last 6 league games, drawn 1, lost 2 after beating Walsall 2-0. As many victories as in their 28 previous such matches combined. Swindon Town have failed to win any of their last 8 away league games after losing 3-2 to Mansfield, drawn 2, lost 6. Across that run, 7 of those matches have seen the Robins concede 2 or more goals. Get them in your acca. Salford City's Matt Smith scored his 23rd goal of the season in League 2 against MK Dons, already 10 more than during his second best goal scoring season in the EFL for Millwall in the 2019-2020 season, where he scored 13 goals. In 2024, no player across the EFL has scored more goals than his 9. WhoScored.com pick out their 5 top performing players from the weekend's League 2 games, with players from Salford, Bradford, Wrexham, Mansfield and Newport all making the cut. Number 5, Paul Mullin, Wrexham, 8.66 rating. Number 4, Andy Cook, Bradford, 8.80 rating. Number 3, Davis Keeler Dunn, Mansfield, 8.88 rating. Matt Smith, Salford, 9.36 rating. And at number 1, Nick Townsend, Newport, 9.40 rating. Townsend made 11 saves in total at Edgeley Park, including a second half penalty stop to deny eventual match winner Paddy Madden from 12 yards to land a WhoScored.com rating of 9.40. Coming up next, who is Soren supporting this week?
You're listening to the Morning Kickoff podcast. Find us all on the socials. Insta at MKO Show UK, TikTok MKO Show, Twitter MKO Show UK, or text the show on 0753 717 1722. Start your text with MKO.
This is the moment you've all been waiting for. Stay tuned.
Soren is up next. Fuck knows what he will say, so strap in. Soren, tell the fucking listeners who you support this week.
After watching them play on Saturday, I got absolutely mesmerized and intrigued. And after watching them, I thought, that's a team I could support. So this week, I'm supporting Grimsby. Me and Dino are best friends now. Grimsby supporters.
So if anything you say is completely wrong, he's going to know.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Okay.
It's just this thing is a little immigrant story into football. I'm growing into it. I'm being taught about it.
Taking in the culture, right? Sorry.
Yeah.
Taking in the culture.
Right. So Grimsby, also known as the Mariners, the black and white boys, who apparently at one point used to be blue and white circles or something, which is weird. How did it get from that to black and white?
No idea.
As usual.
As far as I've ever known, they've only ever been black and white.
Nah, see, I know a lot more about Grimsby than he does.
You do. But you have got a phone in your hand.
Of course I do.
And a cock in the other.
Yeah.
A cock or a coke.
And a pair of balls dangling over your eyes. Come on, knobhead oil.
Grimsby was founded as Grimsby Pelham Football Club in 1878, and they changed the name to Grimsby Town a year later. They played on 4 different stadiums, starting on Clee Park in 1878 and moving to Lovett Street in 1879. They then returned to Clee Park in 1880 and played there for 9 years. Then they played at the Abbey Park from 1889 until 1899 before moving to their forever home, Blundell Park, which has a capacity of 9,052 seats. The stadium used to have a capacity of 27,000, but due to them being relegated several times, the capacity was reduced to what it is now. And all those 9,052 are seated seats. Grimsby Town was formed in 78 after a meeting held at Wellington Arms Public House in Freeman Street, Grimsby. Several attendees, including members of the local Worsley Cricket Club, who wanted to form a football club to occupy the empty winter evenings after the cricket season had finished. In 1888, the club played their first league football, joining the newly formed combination. I swear. The league soon collapsed, and the following year the club applied to join the Football League, an application that was refused. Instead, they joined the Football Alliance. In 1890, the club became a limited company, and in 1892, they finally entered the Football League when it was expanded to 2 divisions. The first game they played was a 2-1 victory over Norwich Victoria. The 1901-02 season saw promotion to the first division, having finished as champions the prior season. 2 seasons later, they were relegated, and within a decade, they would be a non-league side again, failing re-election in 1910 and falling to the Midland League. However, they finished as champions at the first attempt, and at the subsequent re-election vote, they were placed into the Football League after replacing rivals Lincoln City. They recorded their highest ever league position, finishing 5th in Division 1 in the 1934-1935 season. They also managed to reach the semi-finals of the FA Cup twice in the 1930s. First in 1936, when they were knocked out by Arsenal at Huddersfield Town's Leeds Road Stadium, losing 1-0. And then a second time in 1939, when they played Wolverhampton Wanderers at Old Trafford in front of 76,962, which remains Old Trafford's largest attendance ever. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
I can't. Can you believe the fact that instead of being Man U to get the highest attendance ever, it was bloody Grimsby?
Yeah, but that's what used to happen then, wasn't it? That's why it all happened at Hillsborough with the crush and all the rest of it. You play your semi-final or whatever it was at another ground.
Yeah.
I don't think they do it now, do they?
No, it's just Wembley now, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Mariners lost the game 5-0 after their goalkeeper George Molson was injured early in the match. With the rules forbidding substitutes for injuries, Grimsby had to play with 10 men and an outfield player in goal. No wonder they lost 5-0.
Wow.
Later on, the club started to suffer a decline. With the resumption of the Football League for the 1946-47 season after World War II, the club was relegated at the end. And in the 47-48 season, and they haven't returned. No.
Returned?
No. Oh, they started to suffer. No. So they started to suffer a decline in the 46-47 season. And in the 47-48 season, they went down and haven't returned to the highest level of football since. Much of the 1950s and 60s were spent alternated between the 2nd Division and the 3rd Division North, later the 3rd Division. From July 1951 to January 1953, they were managed by Bill Shankly. His main problems were that Grimsby had been relegated twice in the recent seasons, dropping from the 1st to the 3rd Division, and some good players had been transferred before he arrived. Shankly believed that he still had good players to his disposal, and was able to buy some additional players on the transfer market for low fees. Grimsby made a strong challenge for promotion in 51-52, but finished second, 3 points behind Lincoln. Only one team was promoted from the first 3 north,
Wankers.
with one from the first 3 south. Shankly finally resigned in January 1954 after he became disillusioned with the board when he was not offered any money to buy new players. He was also reluctant to promote some promising reserves because of loyalty to the other players, a fault that was to resurface at Liverpool years later. In the late 80s and early 90s, Grimsby had some success, including promotion to the 2nd Division, now EFL Championship, in 1997. The club reached the pinnacle of success in 1998 by winning the Football League trophy at Wembley. The Mariners started the 2001-02 season strongly, topping the league table after 5 games. The club advanced to the 3rd round of the League Cup, where they met holders Liverpool at Anfield. In one of the club's most famous victories, Grimsby held the Premier League team to an 0-0 draw after 90 minutes, taking the game into extra time. Despite Gary McAllister scoring a penalty following a David Berrahoe handball to put the Reds 1-up, loan signing Marlon Brooms equalised before the ex-Everton youth player Phil Jevons hit a 35-yard strike into the top of the corner of Chris Kirkland's goal to give the club a historic victory. Well done, Grimsby. 2002-03 season would bring relegation, with the Mariners finishing bottom of Division 1 and relegated after 5 successive seasons at this level. At the time, only one of their previous 12 seasons had been spent below the 2nd tier of English football. 2004, they struggled with money, as did a lot of smaller clubs after ITV Digital's sudden collapse. This left the club with debts of over £2 million, 700,000 of which was owed to the Inland Revenue, and a further substantial amount to their bankers, Lloyds Bank. So in this period, up until 2008, if I'm not mistaken, they've been going up and down, but they were really struggling due to the financial situation. They spent 6 years in non-league from 2010 to 2016 before returning to the Football League in 2016. On the 5th of May 2021, local businessman Jason Stockwood and Andrew Pettit, under their company 1878 Partners, completed their takeover of the football club after buying out majority shareholder John Fenty. If I was to guess, people are quite happy with them. Dino seems quite happy with them. He believes that they're going in the right direction. On the 1st of March 2023, Grimsby advanced to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup for the first time since 1939 by beating Premier League side Southampton 2-1 away from home, becoming the first club in the competition's history to knock out 5 teams from a higher division.
Yeah, thank you very much for that one, Sarina.
Gaza, you're up next. Time to shine. Have you shit yourself, Gaza? What's that fucking smell? Div 1 soccer results. Jeez.
Barnsley 1, Lincoln City 5, Blackpool 0, Portsmouth 0, Bristol Rovers 0, Derby County 3, Burton 1, Peterborough 3, Cambridge 1, Northampton 1, Charlton 3, Carlisle 2, Exeter 2, Bolton 2, Oxford United 2, Cheltenham 1, Port Vale 1, Shrewsbury 2, Reading 1, Wickham 2, Stevenage 0, Fleetwood 0, Wigan 1, Leyton Orient 0.
Olivier.
Onto the fixtures for Saturday 16th of March. We have Barnsley versus Cheltenham Town, Derby County versus Bolton Wanderers, Exeter City versus Burton Albion, Fleetwood Town versus Charlton Athletic, Lincoln City versus Bristol Rovers, Peterborough versus Portsmouth, Port Vale versus Oxford United, Reading versus Cambridge United, Shrewsbury Town versus Carlisle United, Stevenage versus Leyton Orient, Wigan versus Blackpool, Wickham versus Northampton Town.
And for the league table, we've got Portsmouth in first place with 77 points, Derby County second place 72 points, Bolton Wanderers third place 71 points, fourth place Peterborough 68 points, and fifth place Barnsley with 67 points. And then bottom five, we've got Burton with 39 points, Cheltenham with 34 points, Fleetwood 32 points, Port Vale 32 points, and Carlisle 23 points.
WhoScored.com take a look at their best rated players for the weekend. League One action with Lincoln, Exeter, Charlton and Stevenage all represented. At number 5, Joseph Taylor, rating of 8.07. Number 4, Carl Gianni, 8.31 Stevenage. Number 3, Sonny Cox, Exeter, 8.59 rating. Number 2, Jack Moylan, Lincoln, 9.00 rating. And in number 1 spot, Alfie May, Charlton, 9.09 rating. Charlton came from behind to beat Carlisle 3-2 on Saturday, with Alfie May the star of the show. May was directly involved in all 3 Charlton goals, netting with 2 of 4 shots and providing 1 assist from 4 key passes to earn a WhoScored.com rating of 9.09.
Next up on MKO, the man, the myth, the fucking dull and droning legend in his own mind, annoying oily Maguire.
You know what? I think I want more. Right now.
I'm going to blow your mind and all the listeners' minds now.
Let's do it. Let's have it. What we having?
So last week I touched on IFAB, right?
Yeah.
And we all...
Sorin, what does IFAB stand for? He was told last week.
International Football Association Board, baby.
Come on.
I remembered it.
Come on.
Give him a little clap on
Yeah,
that.
give him a clap. Let's have that. Well done. Well done, mates.
Oh, another one for you to remember, Soren.
Yes, sir.
So this week I am going to touch on the PGMOL. Do you know what that stands for?
Proper granny, molested, orphans, loud.
Proper granny, molested orphans, loud.
Players, PGMOL.
Players, girlfriends.
Players
Moms,
Guild.
old ladies.
Okay, you're all wrong. It stands
that's a
for
shame.
the Professional Game Match Officials Limited.
So is this the referees league?
This is the limited company that oversees all the referees. So last week we had the rules with IFAB. They created all the rules.
Yeah.
These guys now oversee and train and develop referees for all of English football. That is all the division. That's all our EFL ones, Premier League, FA Cup, Carling Cup. Outside of the English football system,
Right.
there is a completely separate, and that can be down to FIFA. But in England, we have the PGMOL. Okay, so I was looking into the PGMOL and I wanted to kind of understand, where did they come from? Why did we put the PGMOL in place? And we are going to go back to when a society, or when PGMOL was about to be formed, or when we were thinking about it but weren't quite sure what we were going to do with it, was 1893 in London. Before that, football's old. We go all the way back to 1581, when one guy was at a football game, and it wasn't called football then, it was called FOTEBALL. Football.
In 1500?
In 1591, there was no such thing as football. It was called football.
Let me stop you right there. Sorry, if I remember correctly, you said last week that in the 1800s, late 1800s, that's when they changed football from rugby into football. So what the fuck was in 1500s then?
So this
Football.
So you got to think there's like
Football.
it's like a game that wasn't really football
Okay,
or rugby.
okay.
Then it was kind of a load of what they were
Bollocks.
calling gentlemen
Oh,
going out there and
Isn't this
kind
where
of-
golf gets its name from as well? Gentlemen only.
liberating.
No.
No, gentlemen only likes fanny.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, only gentlemen.
Fuck's sake. But yeah, everything was about gentlemen.
So like 1581, basically a load of gents would go out and go, gentlemen, Japs, let's go and kick a ball about, shall we?
A pig's bladder.
Yep. So there was one bloke, a guy called Richard Mulcaster, and he was at a football game, and he suggested in basically their version of podcasts back then in a publication that there should be someone there who should be the judge over the parties.
Makes sense.
Which
In
I think we should bring-
1500 though.
We should bring that back. Referees should be called judge over the parties. Much better.
So that means the football match is going to be a party, or the parties are the football
parties
teams.
they weren't teams then. They were parties.
Okay, so okay.
Yep. So no
So what
teams.
goes on
So
then?
no teams. And what happened next was in 1842 there was a Rochdale game, and someone said that it's basically too violent. No one actually tries to play the actual rules
Preposterous.
or the rules that were set out by the universities or someone at that time. And Rochdale basically said, we are going to have 2 umpires set up. 2 umpires from each team. So your team, you'd have your manager when you set up a team. You'd have your team players, and then you'd also bring along your umpire.
What was the umpire?
So the umpires, when there was a decision like a foul or someone's done something that they didn't think was fair, you would get your 2 umpires together, negotiate what would happen, and then
That'd be the
decide.
outcome.
Yeah. So imagine how long that took.
And what if they didn't get along, or they didn't agree with the decision? What would happen?
So then the judge over the parties would decide. So you'd have the judge
referee.
over the parties. Really, their only role was to keep time of the game, ironically.
The one thing you refused to do.
Yeah.
Lazy cunt.
Luckily, I wasn't.
Sorin.
Luckily, I wasn't born in 1851. So the judge over the parties would decide if the 2 umpires couldn't get on with it. Then, roughly around 1893, and this is when the first Referees Society was formed. So that is the first version of the PGMOL. And they were called the North Staff Referees Club, formed in 1896. So 3 years after they started thinking about making some sort of PGMOL. Years on, it became, there was 27 different types of PGMOL.
Worldwide or in the UK?
In the UK.
Really?
Yep. So there were 27 versions of these associations that would allocate referees to different games. So complete chaos. The FA are there. They're just kind of like, we need referees. It wasn't really very structured. You know, it wasn't like a one system where everyone does things. They would just pick from these different societies who was going to ref what. And again, in what way they were going to ref it was kind of up to those societies, or what is now known as the limited company.
But they were going by the IFAB rules, correct?
Not always.
No?
So we're still at that sort of era where they were kind of making up their own rules. Plus, they then had this PGMOL type thing. The main one that's known is the North Staff of Referees. So in 2001 was when the PGMOL was produced, and that they then took over, agreed by the FA, IFAB, and FIFA that they would be the only ones now to employ, train, and allocate referees to every game up and down the country.
Was that in line with the Premier League then?
Only from 2001.
Yeah, because Premier League started 96, wasn't it?
Yeah.
95,
96, something around about there.
So before then, you would have been working for the FA, which is probably why, if you looked at referees' uniforms pre 2001, it wouldn't have had Premier League logos and stuff, and it would have said FA.
Black and white.
Whereas
Straight
now,
black and white.
it's all Premier League. You don't see so much FA
Yeah.
stuff on it. So that is basically where the PGMOL came from. They are now the overseers and allocators of referees in the league.
In my head, football started in the 1800s, right?
Yeah.
Don't know why, but in my head, that's when football started. Invented in England by gentlemen. That's where, in my head, for 51 years of my life, I've imagined football started. I'm looking at something now in the year 1235 of a load of Chinese people playing football. Blows my mind. I never even knew it was a thing in the 1500s like you were saying. That blew my mind. I'm now looking at Zhao Pu, Prime Minister, and his other ministers, Yuan Dynasty, Emperor Taizu of Song, playing Kuju, i.e. Chinese football, in 1235 to 1305.
Yeah.
That blows my mind. I thought football started in the 1800s. Hence why we invented the leagues and whatnot.
Funny how far it's come with all the things involved now and VAR and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I want you to do the rules.
I'll circle back to the rules in the next episode.
No, we'll do that in a couple of episodes more. Okay. So when you've done FIFA, UEFA and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to go back to the rules that you'd brought up that had been brought in and or kicked out. I thought that was really interesting. Yeah. Another good VAR. It's not annoying. It's just not an annoying report. It's like you can't really knock Ollie for this one.
The annoying thing is my drony voice, right?
No,
it's interesting.
I like it. I like anything that's interesting, and I don't know. I like it.
Well done, Ollie.
You're listening to Gaza, Soren, Oily Maguire, and Dino on the Morning Kickoff Footy Podcast. How they keep getting into the Apple UK podcast charts is beyond me. What does offside even mean?
Championship results, Gaza. Championship fixtures, Ollie. Championship league standings, Soren.
Okay, there was one Friday night game, which was Sheffield Wednesday 0, Leeds United 2. And on the Saturday, Cardiff 2, Ipswich 1, Blackburn 1, Plymouth 1, Hull 2, Leicester 2, Millwall 1, Birmingham 0, Norwich 5, Rotherham 0, Preston 1, Stoke 2, QPR 0, Middlesbrough 2, Southampton 4, Sunderland 2, Watford 1, Coventry 2.
And the fixtures for Saturday, 16th of March, and I will also do the 17th because there is a game on the Sunday. The fixtures for Saturday are Swansea City versus Cardiff City, Birmingham City versus Watford, Ipswich Town versus Sheffield Wednesday, Middlesbrough versus Blackburn Rovers, Plymouth Argyle versus Preston North End, Rotherham Town versus Huddersfield Town, Stoke City versus Norwich City, Sunderland versus QPR, West Brom versus Bristol City, and on the Sunday you have got Leeds United versus Millwall.
That is going to be a naughty game. Millwall and Leeds. Naughty, horrible game. And they both hate Sky. They're doing this droning thing that does my head in. Can't watch Leeds, can't watch Millwall. Soren, give me the league standings. 5 on the top, 5 from the bottom.
5 at the top. Starting up with number 1 being Leicester with 82 points. Second is Leeds with 79 points. Third is Ipswich with 78 points. Fourth is Southampton with 73 points. And fifth, West Brom with 63 points. And then bottom 5, we've got QPR on 20th with 39 points. Birmingham with on the 21st. I'll start again. QPR on the 20th spot with 39 points. On the 21st, Birmingham with 39 points. 22nd, Huddersfield, 38 points. 22nd, I'll do that again. On the 20th spot, we've got QPR with 39 points. 21st spot, Birmingham with 39 points. 22nd, Huddersfield, 38 points. 23rd, Sheffield United, 38 points. And 24th and dead last.
No, start again.
Yep. And stop doing your fucking thing.
Start again. You said Sheffield United.
I said Sheffield. Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah. And top 5 bottom, we've got QPR on the 20th with 39 points. On the 21st, Birmingham with 39 points. 22nd, Huddersfield, 38 points. 23rd, Sheffield Wednesday, 38 points. And dead last, Rotherham, going down with 19 points.
Top performers in the Sky Bet Championship, again with WhoScored.com.
I've got a question. Aren't they supposed to remove betting websites from like the kit and whatnot by 2025, I think it was, or 2026? Wasn't there something about that?
Yeah, I think so. I don't even think Chelsea's sponsor can be their sponsor.
Yeah, so what's going to happen with this Sky Bet thing? Are they going to have to give it up? Because obviously it is betting, isn't it?
I don't know the answer to that. Sorry.
I don't. Maybe that's one for you next week.
Oh, yeah.
My arse.
Come back to the podcast.
Sorin. I
Yes,
need
sir.
to find out about Sky Bet. Sha-da-da-da-da-da. Right. Coming up, we have got 5 of the weekend's top performers in the Sky Bet Championship. WhoScored.com are on hand to run through their top performing players from the weekend's championship action, with Norwich dominating following their 5-0 win over Rotherham. At number 5, Jack Stacey, Norwich, 8.47 rating. Number 4, Jacob Sorensen, Norwich, 8.65 rating. Number 3, Kiefer Moore, Ipswich, 8.72 rating. Number 2, Borja Sands, Norwich, 9.30 rating. And number 1, Norwich, 10. Boasting a perfect WhoScored.com 10 rating, Gabriel Sara is the championship player of the week. Sara was directly involved in 3 of Norwich's 5 goals at the weekend, bagging a brace from 5 shots and providing 1 assist on 5 key passes. The Brazilian also made 3 tackles and 3 clearances in a standout display. Right, and coming up now, the new section we have got, Gazza's Golden Generation. This is where Gazza has got his all-time best England team from the decade. So he's going to start with his 60s, and then he's going to move all the way up week after week into 2020s. So Gazza, take it away.
Okay, well, obviously the 1960s, we all know that England won the World Cup in 66, so it was quite difficult to really take any of the 11 players that have actually played in that final, but there's a couple of controversial ones I've put in there, but other than that, I think, well, let's see, and we can discuss. So I'll start at the back. So we got goalkeeper, little bit of deliberation, but Gordon Banks, 73 caps, 35 clean sheets. He's my number 1. And then we go to fullbacks. I've gone for left back. I've put Ray Wilson, 63 caps. Again, he played in the 66 World Cup final. Centre backs, nice and easy. Bobby Moore, 108 caps. Unbelievable. 90 times he was England captain out of those 108 caps. Absolute superb player. And alongside him, I decided to put Jack Charlton. Only had 35 caps, and his first one was in 1965, which was when he was 30. But yeah, played alongside Bobby Moore in the World Cup final. Right back was my first one I deliberated with, and I've gone for a guy called Jimmy Armfield, who received 43 caps. He captained England 15 times, sort of 62, 63. He was voted the best right back in the world in 62 World Cup. But due to injury, he was only in the squad in 66. But I'm going to put him in at right back. Moving up to the midfield. In the centre, I've gone for little Nobby Styles. 28 caps, Man United player. Holding midfielder. Done all the dirty work in there. Alongside him, I've gone with Alan Ball, 72 caps. And was also the youngest player to play in the 1966 World Cup for England at 20. Then we've gone out wide. Martin Peters, 67 cap, 20 goals for England. Bit of a Rolls-Royce player. Yeah, used to like watching him play. On the opposite wing, we've got Liverpool's Roger Hunt, 34 caps, 18 goals. And then my final 2, just going to play in the number 10 role just behind the striker. I've gone for Sir Bobby Charlton, 106 caps, 49 goals. And up front, it's probably going to be another contentious one, but I've actually gone for Jimmy Greaves, 57 caps, 44 goals. And that is my 11. I did put one substitute down, which I couldn't really leave him out, I suppose. Jeff Hurst, 49 caps, 24 goals. Have him on the bench. Do you want me to name a manager from the 60s? Again, it's probably got my club hat on here, but obviously looking at Alf Ramsey, won the World Cup with England, but I've actually gone for Bill Nicholson with Tottenham. Did the double in 61, FA Cup 62 and 67, and won the Cup Winners' Cup in 63. So that is my choice.
Well done.
Do you agree with Gary's choice in the 60s? Let us know. Very difficult for me to argue with it. I think you've done a cracking job there, Gazza.
You're listening to the Morning Kickoff podcast. Find us all on the socials. Insta at MKO Show UK, TikTok MKO Show, Twitter MKO Show UK, or text the show on 0753 717 1722. Start your text with MKO.
The main event, the Premier Soccer League, the home of touchdowns in the end zone. Over to you, boys. Do your best.
Well, I'll touch on Arsenal. I thought we thoroughly deserved to win the game. I agree. I think Kai Havertz should have been sent off
Why?
for his dive in the box. Do you want to see that?
No.
So he elbowed a player in the face, got a yellow for that a few minutes before, and then he went and we were late on into the game and he dived in the box, and that should have been a sending off. That said, I feel that Arsenal should have had a penalty earlier in the game where Brentford player pretty much yanked Trossard's head off in the box and it wasn't given. So I think we deserved to win 2-1.
Right.
With the amount of pressure that we put on them, but there should have been some different decisions.
Can I just interject, because it seems to be the buzzword nowadays? If you, as a referee, have fucked up a penalty decision, and in your head, because it's happened and you haven't blown and you've allowed play to continue, if at the other end you see something that happens that should have been a penalty, will you not give that to even it up from the other end? Or will you go, yeah, I've made that error, I've made that mistake, I've got to let that go, but that was a penalty, so I've then got to give that, which makes it even more difficult.
I think when I'm refereeing games, I stick in the moment, I'm dead on my decision. It doesn't change. When I'm driving back from the game and I'm thinking about what did I do in that game, should I have done that? Then it's sometimes during that moment I'll go, maybe it wasn't a penalty, or maybe that was. But when you're in the moment, I don't change my decision. I'm 100% convinced it's a penalty or it's not a penalty.
So would you never make up for it by not allowing a penalty at the other end?
No.
So you would give a penalty knowing full well you should have given a penalty, but you didn't to the opposing team?
No, I'd base it on that moment.
Right.
Everything's decided in that moment. And sometimes you will get it wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, like with that Arsenal game, and you can use the Man City one, which you can come on to soon, right at the end.
Yeah, that's what I was coming up to.
But yeah, for me, and I think probably any ref and probably PGMOL training, because of the training courses that I went on, you decide in the moment and you stick with it, don't change your mind, which is why you very rarely ever see a ref change their mind. Unless obviously...
Even under VAR, they didn't change their minds, even though VAR was saying, bring the play back, stop playing. He was like, no.
Yeah,
After the offside decision.
VAR's made it harder and easier in some ways for you to go back and have another look, but there are still things, aren't there, like with the Liverpool-Man City game.
What's happened there? I've watched the game. I don't remember.
You don't remember? You don't remember?
Kicked him in the chest. It should have been a penalty.
Oh, yeah. I remember. Yeah, right at the end.
Yeah.
I was wondering, what was it about?
Do you think it was a foul?
Yeah.
Found
Yeah. Kicked him in the
Should have been a penalty.
Yep.
But anyway, we'll get onto that. So your rundown of Arsenal, you complete?
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm really, I think Arsenal deserved it, and look at the table now. Amazing.
Gaza, Spurs.
Yeah, we had, well, difficult game, Villa away, who obviously were 5 points ahead of us before the game. But yeah, I think Spurs really controlled it. Played really, really well. 0-0 at half time though, but came out second half, got two very quick goals, Maddison and Johnson. Then McGinn got sent off for a very late challenge. I'm not quite sure why VAR got involved. He was right in front of the linesman and the referee. And then Son and Werner got two late goals just to wrap it up 4-0.
Werner is on one. That's his second week in succession, isn't it? Scoring a goalie.
Yeah, 2 in 2.
Good.
That's a massive result for Tottenham.
It is against Aston Villa.
For your Champions League push.
Yeah.
That was a 6 point of that.
Yeah, so we're 2 points behind with a game in hand, which is Chelsea away. So,
that could go one either way.
Have you seen the fixtures for the end of the Premier League? Tottenham will decide who wins the league if all keep winning. It will be down to Tottenham. It goes Tottenham, Arsenal, Tottenham, Liverpool, Tottenham. Yeah,
City. we've got Newcastle away, City at home, Arsenal at home, Liverpool away, all in 1 month.
Wow.
Going to be interesting. Going to be really interesting.
Off the table and for your forward campaign for your Champions League.
Take some money. Yeah. No, it'd be a big month, that one.
Yeah.
Sarino, Liverpool versus the City.
Not happy. I was really hoping they're going to put on a show. I thought Liverpool are missing some key players and City are just going to run away with it. But now, at the moment, I am not very hopeful. I don't think City are going to get a title.
Really?
No. They really struggled. At the second half, they really struggled against the Liverpool team that were missing some key players, and they didn't start it with Salah, for example. I don't think they've got it in them, to be honest, after that game. I don't think after seeing them against a hurt Liverpool, a struggling Liverpool, I don't think they're going to be able to beat Arsenal.
Did you see Kevin De Bruyne come off and start having a go at Pep?
Pep sat down with him, didn't he? To discuss why he bought him off on the 66th.
Didn't like it, did he?
No. I don't think if you're winning and you've got a winner's mentality, why would you ever like coming up?
Yeah, exactly.
Even though Pep did explain to him the reasoning behind it.
I think
didn't
they're
want to come off after 6.
To be fair though, Doku then hit the bar not long after De Bruyne came off, so it was almost like
yeah. I was screaming over here, but
were you happy? Were you happy with the lineup and everything, or do you think?
No, that's what I was going to touch. I think they're really struggling. Left flank, they need Grealish back. From my point of view, he can definitely. He is being missed. Like, look at Bernardo Silva. That's not his preferred position, and you can see it. He never wants to take players on. He just quickly passes it back, or he tries to ping it. Yeah, I don't think they're going to win the Premier League, and I'm really curious to see if they're going to make top 2. I know Dino really wants that because
I've got money on City. I need City
10 grand
first, preferably for 10 grand.
Just on City being poor, Liverpool were outstanding at Anfield. I mean, I think any team would have got penned back by Liverpool in that game. Like, even though City probably did quite well to hang on for a draw, to be honest, because Liverpool were rampant.
Yeah, but that's it. That's going to be the same against Arsenal. And I think, again, from my point of view is Liverpool didn't have their full squad. They've got many injured players. They didn't start with Salah, which was important. Imagine if they started with Salah and they would have had the second half oomph in the first one. All those attacks, one after the other. Just look, I don't know what happened with defense. Like, they were lost in that game in second half. No one was going for balls. So many counter attacks, and I think that's Arsenal as well, isn't it?
De Bruyne came out afterwards in the interview and said that he was in Endo's pocket the whole game. So he actually came out in the interview afterwards and said that, along with Caicedo and a couple of other people, are now in Endo's pocket, basically.
Wow.
So, but the midfield, they were just too good, and City, you rarely see it, but not great from them. But I still think they'll. Yeah, I think so.
No, I don't think they will, and it will be interesting to see if they do end up lower than second, if they are going to break Champions League next year. Because what was it, Girona? If I'm not mistaken, in Spain, they're also owned by the same consortium, by the same company that owns City.
The
City Football Group.
Yeah.
And apparently, if the football group have 2 teams, the one that places higher will be the one that will play Champions League. So I'm curious what's going to happen there. It's going to be quite interesting.
Unless you win it.
No. I honestly do not think they've got it after that game. Although Oli said that obviously it's Liverpool, it's a downfield. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I think Arsenal.
If you won the Champions League, you surely would be in it next year if City won it.
Oh, that's what you. Sorry, I thought you meant Premier League. Yeah, I don't know. Are they? Yeah. Then Girona wouldn't. Yeah, because they're the champion. Yeah, I think they'd go in. Huh?
Wasn't a good weekend for you, was it? Because even Spurs ladies beat City in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup on pens.
Oh, I've got.
Do we talk about women's football on this show?
No. I've got better ways of wasting my time than that. Thank you very much. But yeah, I'm happy for Spurs, to be honest. I wouldn't mind seeing them end up top 4. Yeah, they had a brilliant result.
It is a decent table this year, though, because it's not just Liverpool, Man City. It's Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City. It's a three-way tie, isn't it?
Would you say this is the greatest title race of the Premier League history?
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Because it's not Man United, and it's not. It's predominantly Man United, wasn't it, when the Premier League set up? Blackburn, Leicester, Chelsea.
And there's really
Liverpool.
only ever been 2 kind of going at it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is interesting. Yeah, you are right. Yeah.
Definitely the greatest league in the world.
Yeah.
For the amount of talent we've got in our league, in the Premier League, but also the amount of teams we're playing with, 20 teams. And I know Sheffield United, Burnley, Luton, Forest, Everton are at the bottom. Well, someone's going to be bottom.
Yeah.
But if either one of them play anyone from the Scottish Premier League, just thrash them. They thrash them.
Can't see.
If they go and play anyone in Spain or Italy, the majority of the Italian teams and the majority of the Spanish teams are crap.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
There is a goal.
Well, I mean,
we've got 20 decent teams.
Yeah.
I think it's debatable. Like, even if you're you're bottom 4, let's say, I don't think maybe bottom 3, Everton probably, but bottom. No, sorry, my bad. Bottom 4. Everton is 16th. I don't think they be very high up in Spain. Italy, yeah, Spain. Italy, France, Germany, yeah, Spain. No, look at how many teams are slapping Barcelona at the moment, and you have to remember it's still Barcelona. Even Real Madrid are struggling for results.
I thought it was Real Madrid, second to Girona, wasn't it?
No, they're first.
They're first.
Yeah, they are.
They're not
Yeah.
suffering then, are they, if they're first?
Yeah, but they're still they're fighting for results. It's not like they're winning like Arsenal winning 5-6 4 whatever. They're like 2-1, 3-1, 1-0 maybe 1-1. There are
Yeah,
quite
but
a
if
few
they're,
good
if they're
teams
top,
in
they're
Spain.
grinding out the results, aren't they? It's like
Yeah,
Man United in Fergie time, innit? When they was winning the leagues, they was winning in 97th or 95th minute before we had this madness of 100 minutes in a game.
I enjoy the 100 minutes. I think it's good.
What was the Premiership results of last week against what we'd predicted?
Oh no.
Gazer.
Actually, I
think-
in there. I think I got a 2-2. I think I might have one.
I'll tell you. So the results, Dino, you predicted 0. You didn't get any correct.
I didn't get any right.
No, not the correct score, no.
Welcome to
Not
the table.
Bollocks.
Soren,
Sorry? No, don't tell me you got one right.
you didn't get any either.
Yes.
Good.
Did,
I'm the same with Dino. Good.
shut up. Did Ollie?
Versus
Ollie,
Gaz.
Ollie,
2.
you got the 2-2 draw, Sheffield United.
Good lad.
And you got Liverpool, Man City 1-1.
Good lad.
with my
Nice
heart.
one. Gaza, what did
Gazza
you
got
get?
a few.
United 2, Everton 0.
Got it.
Wolves 1, Wolves 2, Fulham 1. I got correct. And I got the Arsenal score correct, so I got 3.
Oh,
you
well
bastards.
done. Go on, Gazza.
Go, Gaza. This is why I said to everyone you should put your mortgage, your house, your wife, your kids, next door's kids on what we say, because we always get it right.
This
So
is not
between
financial advice.
Gaza and Ollie, smashed it with 7. 5. Got it 5.
Pretty
Good
close.
job I'm not on countdown, innit? Gaza, can we have the results of the Premier League, please, sir?
Manchester United 2, Everton 0.
Yes.
Bournemouth 2, Sheffield United 2. Crystal Palace 1, Luton 1.
Well done.
Wolves 2, Fulham 1, Arsenal 2, Brentford 1, Aston Villa 0, Tottenham 4, Brighton 1, Nottingham Forest 0, West Ham 2, Burnley 2, Liverpool 1, Manchester City 1, and currently playing after 76 minutes tonight, it's Chelsea 3, Newcastle 1.
Go on, boys.
Yeah, let's have a bit of Chelsea on there. League standings, Sarina, top 3, bottom 3, please, sir.
First place, Arsenal, unfortunately, with 64 points. Second place, Liverpool, 64 points. And third, dead last, buried in the ground, Man City with 63 points. Last 3, we've got Luton with 21 points on the 18th. We've got 19th, Burnley, 14 points. And 20th, Sheffield United, 14 points.
Lovely. Do we think that Burnley, Sheffield United and Everton are still going to go down?
Not sure about Everton.
Yeah.
Well, they've got another points deduction to come, so I'm assuming that they're going to go down if that comes before the end of the
happens in this
season.
league,
And also Notts Forest as well.
Well, yeah, because they're just above the bottom 3, aren't they?
Yeah, so would 4 go down and 4 go up as opposed to 3? Is it 3 go down or 2?
3.
3, yeah. So would 4 go down potentially? And they would not allow Sheffield United, Burnley and Luton to go down?
I don't know.
For argument's sake.
Be interesting.
No,
to see
I
what
don't
they've
think
got,
so.
but
I think if Everton get points reduction, they'll drop, and the one that is ahead of them on points won't.
That could be interesting if that comes out this year season.
There's only 4.
I don't think it will. They've already done one this year. I think it'll be next year.
Do you really? I thought it was all meant to have been resolved for this year, so this year's deductions could be taken into account.
I don't think. Bear in mind, Everton appealed the last one and got points taken off, so they're going to appeal again, aren't they, on the next one?
And they did really well because the league wanted 20-point deduction.
Yeah.
So that was the risk that they run if they didn't get it the appeal successfully. It could have been reinstated to 20 points. But it is what it is. Gaza, have we got the fixtures for the Premier League that we can predict?
Yeah. So the first game is Burnley versus Brentford.
Awful game. 2-2.
4? Oh, 2-2.
2-2 to 2-2 to Burnley.
Thank you very much. I think it's going to be 2-0 for Brentford.
Gaza.
2-1 Brentford.
Ollie.
I was going to have 2-1, so I'm going to go 2-1 as well.
Luton versus Forest.
2-2 to Forest, sorry.
1-0 for Luton, please.
Olivier.
I'm going to go 1-1.
Gaza.
2-1 Luton.
Well done.
Fulham, Tottenham.
2-2 to Tottenham.
You're just going to do all 2-2s.
All 2-2s from me. One of them's going to come in.
Yeah.
3-1 Tottenham. Actually, 4-1. No, 3-1.
3-0 Tottenham.
We lost there in the cup. That was on penalties. I'm going to go 2-1 Tottenham. West Ham, Villa.
Or Villa. No, I'm going to go Villa 3-1 and Moyes be sacked.
Right. Okay.
I'm going to go next. I'm going to go 2-0 to Villa.
2-1 West Ham.
I'm not doing that. That's it then. Four games.
That's rubbish. Did I predict Chelsea right? Or will I predict Chelsea right?
I predict a riot. I predict a riot.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah,
actually.
that's the point.
Let's have a look at
What
the
did we do
Chelsea.
for the scores? Because we missed that right at the end of the show.
So, Chelsea, Dino said 2-1 Chelsea.
Oh,
3-1.
I was right.
You're wrong.
Ollie went 2-1 Newcastle.
Shit.
Soren went 2-1 Chelsea. And I went 2-2. So we're all fucked, really.
Gaza, did you want to hear this story about how he got a hoof print on his forehead?
So my mom fed me breast milk up until I was like 6 months old. And after that, she stopped because I was biting her nipples really hard to the point where she was bleeding. And yeah.
How do you remember this stuff?
She's told me. She's told me. She's told me. She was like, you were the devil as a child. You would bite my nipples so hard. Anyways, she was living, we were all living with my grandparents, and they were living in a village, and they had a cow. The cow was producing milk after he had a calf. And I started growing up. They were feeding me milk from the cow because my mom wouldn't breastfeed me no more. And when I was about 1 year old, I was already running around like crazy. And I saw where they were getting the milk from.
Bridge?
No, from the cow.
From the bowl.
I saw them get the milk out of the tits of the cow's. I saw them get the milk out of the cow's tit. And then one evening, my grandma says, okay, can you sit here with the cow while I go and bring the warm water to milk it? And I took my chance. I was like, it's now or never. I'm going to get milk forever, baby. I go to the cow's tit. I grab onto it and I bite the fucker. You know what the cow does? Hooves me straight in the head. And I just go like that. Boom, into the door. I panic. I look around. I'm like, oh, I can't believe this happened. And I remember just standing up, wanting to cry. But I knew if I was going to cry, I would get in trouble.
How old were you?
About one something. I remember this very clearly. I remember how I just went from the cow's tit hitting the door just like that. In an instant, it's like I teleported. It's like I invented teleportation.
Fuck's sake.
And I remember not crying. My grandma saw it. Apparently, it was really bad. And she saw it and she was like, yeah, you got fucked up.
Did you bite the cow's tit?
But I remember being so scared to cry because I was like, I'm going to get fucked up if I do.
I bet your mum felt sorry for the cow, didn't she?
All I can say is pull the other one.
Yeah.
Pull the other what?
Other one.
Other. I had another story I could say quickly before we go. Or I could leave it, the one about getting molested.
No,
that's it. It's 10 o'clock. We're done.
Save it for
Save it for the next one.
Save it for next week.
It's been emotional. Let's all say our goodbyes. Thank you very much for listening. Don't forget, the most important thing you can do is subscribe. Subscribe so then you get told when the next episode comes out and when it's edited. Yes, sorry.
Oh no, you can say it. I just want to find out how to say goodbye in Bolivian.
Thank you, everybody, for listening, and thank you again. And subscribe, as Dino said.
Adios, amigos.
See you in the next one.
There you go.
There you go.
We're done.
That was a long one.
A late stint, isn't it?
Fuck me, you call me off duty. Well, that went quicker than I expected. All that talk of football, I nearly fell asleep. Anyway, if that's what you like, if this is your bag, if you can cope with the droning noise of Oily Maguire, then tune in next time for more of the same old bollocks. Leave a review, subscribe, share, and tell your friends. Thank you for listening.
But why?
He likes Chelsea. He's got a soft spot for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Are you seriously supporting Chelsea as well as City?
Yeah. They're on a whole different level.
But he has no reason. He has absolutely no reason to support them.
Oh, fucking hell. It would be a name that I can't pronounce. Tyrai. Oh, fucking hell.
Do you need a hand?
Tyriek.
Well, yeah, because you're the person to start pronouncing names, aren't you?
What are you doing, Braille?
Yeah. Are we ready?
10 minutes ago, but go for it.
Welcome to our listeners for episode 12, and we're back tonight. Oh, I can't even fucking not tonight. Don't say
It don't matter.
No, it's nondescript. You can't say it's night, morning, or afternoon.
Okay.
Guys, what have you been up to this week since I last saw you? That's kind of how you'd introduce it, I think.
Okay.
No, do it again. I just wanted to do that. Go on, Gaza. Sorry.
You need to put that in.
I can't. We just need to get the episode flowing.
Oh, come on.
Good. Very good.
Love the foreign accent.
And the hand movements as well. They can't see you, mate. You're not being filmed. Cock.
I love cock. He's looking at me and he's laughing at me. I'm sorry, I can't.
Soren, grow the fuck up.
Do you need a moment?
Yeah.
Turn your mic off.
Mute me.
Yeah, but it's not going to stop your noise.
Take a deep breath. Compose yourself.
Punch me if you have to. I can't. Have you seen him?
Finished.
Sorry.
God, it's like the fucking... What's that lift scene with Peter Sellers? And they were farting.
Dudley Moore, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Was it
Dudley Moore, yeah. Whatever it was.
Right, we all finished?
Do you want to put Newcastle on or no? He's going to distract us. They're playing Chelsea. No?
What the fuck is wrong with you? We're trying to get the show done.
I know. I'm only asking.
Right. Well, I think it's more important to get the show done than what it is to watch football right now, don't you? You can't even fucking do the show without watching football. Why would you want another distraction, you fucking useless lump?
But they should sit opposite each other, these two.
I'm actually not laughing at him. I'm laughing at what he said and what he called him. I'm waiting for the Stephen Hoare bit.
Yeah, I'm listening.